Welcome to another episode of Lake Lurker Fishing. It's raining today, so I'm not gonna fish like on the kayak. Might hit the banks later, but I'm not sure yet. And I need to do some catching up. And it is October 31st. Happy Halloween. We're gonna do the top 5 November baits, stuff that I like to throw. I don't fish in November often, so I'm not really an expert, but this is what's worked for me. So let's just get right into it. There'll also be a link in the description below. It's warmer out here than I thought. The link in the description below for all these baits and where to buy them. If I don't have a link to them, I'll link to their website. All right, getting right into it. First bait, November. Water's getting a little cold. Grass is starting to die, so you're gonna stick to like hard structure, laydowns, regular stuff. And you need a bait with pull power, something with more of a rigid action, a jerking action, if you will. So, bait number 1, jerk bait. You can see the jerk bait. I throw Mega Bass Vision 110s and Mega Bass Vision 110s. I'm not too special on the colors. I kind of throw whatever color. This seems to be my go-to right here. Kind of a shad, gill, one of these guys. Lighter colors. I like the chartreuse though. For a jerkbait, what I like to throw them on, and you're gonna notice a pattern here. I throw them on a 7-foot medium, 7-to-5 ratio rod. The brand doesn't matter. I like a 7-foot medium, fast action tip. I also like a shorter, like a 6/8. I don't have one of those right now, but I've used that before. And you don't, for jerk baits, you don't need a bait caster. You can use a spinning rod. Use a spinning rod for most things, but bait casters really make a difference for other things. Jerk bait's not one of those lures. For line, I like throwing them on straight fluoro, but recently I've been throwing them on a 20-pound braid to 10-pound fluoro leader, long leader, like 6-foot leader, and it works really well. So yeah, that is bait number 1, jerk bait. In my Ravanna video, I say jerk bite. I don't know why I say that, but I do. Bait number 2, and you guessed it, you just saw it. Blade bait. And guess what I throw it on? Same thing I throw the jerk bait on, except I use a mono leader for the blade bait instead of a fluoro leader. I'll get into that in a second. But first things first, for blade baits, I got a box of them right here. Blade baits are kind of like a finesse lipless crank. Real simple. I like the Mega Bass in the gill pattern and the Demiki vaults in the shad patterns. These are the Rapala, I forget what they're called, but they're kind of like, what are they called? That's the Rapala. I haven't really fished these, but I'm going to. That's kind of in between a lipless crank and a blade bait. But these are kind of like a finesse lipless crank. I like throwing them on 20-pound braid, 10-pound mono. The reason I use mono is because these baits sink really fast. Mono floats. So with a sinking bait, floating line, it doesn't get caught up in the trebles as much. For colors, I like that bluegill. I like, I can't get it out right. Oh, there we go. That chartreuse. That's really the 2 that I use. This is the Demiki Vault. I think this is the 1/4 ounce. And with the bluegill Mega Bass, these guys, 3/8 ounce. Blade baits are something you can kind of just throw anywhere. They work really good on ledges and rock bottoms, but yeah, cast it out, and then it's like you almost bounce You can do a straight retrieve. I don't do that often, but yeah, just send it on out there and bring it in, reel, and then bring it in, reel. Let's see if I can do this without dropping it. We'll put it there. All right, now the real exciting stuff. Bait number 3. That's right, Ned rig. The Ned rig's going to be featured in some more videos. I know no one gets excited about it, but it's just a Slayer. I don't have one rigged up right now. I should probably do that for the video. Please hold. Ned rigs. They're like the finesse shaky head. If you can get more finesse than a shaky head, just without the shaking. Real simple. This is a weedless Ned rig hook. A lot of times I'll break this off. For those who haven't seen Ned rigs, you can see the weed guards on there. It's just a smaller jig head with a small worm on it. I like that profile where it has the little tail or head, whatever you want to call it. It basically just sits on the bottom like this, and this little tail bounces around. Another one of those things that you move slow and you just bounce across the bottom. For colors, kind of stick with 2 colors. I like X Zone, and I like their purple. And then this is called Smallie Magic. I do like that for smallies. I don't fish smallies often though, but that's just a good clear water color too. River-wise fishing makes a good Ned, and I haven't used it, or I don't have it right now. It's in my other box, and yeah, same deal. It's a real simple technique. For rods, 7-foot medium fast action spinning rod, nothing fancy. I like a 20-pound braid, 8 or 10-pound fluoro leader. You can throw straight braid if you want for extra sensitivity, especially if the water's yucky. Not a whole lot to the Ned rig. If you haven't fished the Ned rig before, I'm going to do a video soon on how to beat the skunk, and guess what bait's going to be featured there. It's going to be a few baits, 3, but Ned rig, it'll be on there maybe next week. So yeah, that's the Ned rig. Bait number 4. Not much different than the Ned rig, but it does have a different presentation. Sometimes they're not biting the Ned and they will bite this. That's the finesse jig. It's like a jig, but they call it a finesse jig, which means it's just smaller. This is the Battle Baits head, and this is the X Zone Muscleback. I like X Zone trailers quite a bit. The plastic's super durable, and it floats, so you get a little extra action out of it. You fish it the same way you fish a Ned rig. You just throw it into cover, throw it off rock bottoms, throw it into ledges, and you use the same combo, or at least I do. 7-foot medium fast, 20-pound braid with a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. Sometimes I'll just throw straight braid. That's what we got for the finesse jig. I don't really stray too much. Sometimes if I'm not gonna throw the green pumpkin pink combo, I'll just throw straight up green pumpkin on that Battle Bait. I think that's a 1/8 ounce weight. Trailers, I don't go crazy. I usually stay green pumpkin, or sometimes I'll do a little bit of orange or straight black if the water is chocolate milk. Bait number 5, last but not least. I don't throw this too much in the winter or in November, but sometimes they bite the top water. And that is a spook, walking bait, whatever you want to call it. This is a Berkeley Drift Walker 110. I like that little red head they have on there too. I'll throw this on pretty much anything. This is the 110 smaller size, so I'll throw it on a spinning rod. Usually just 20-pound braid on a medium spinning rod, or on a 7-foot medium casting rod. I like that 7-foot medium for this walking bait with these treble hooks. For colors, I like bone, and I also like bone. Seems to be the color that works, even in lakes that don't have shad. A lot of my lakes don't have shad, and this seems to be the color that works for me. And that's it. Those are my 5 baits for November. November's really simple fishing. It's just hard cover, hard structure, laydowns, and then some fish will migrate deeper. I don't have a fish finder, so really I just throw the blade bait around in places that look like it could be juicy, and that's usually when you catch them, off those rock piles on the bottom, or if you have a fish finder, then you find those piles. And I'll throw a bonus bait in here for you. Bite gets tough. Swim jig. Real simple. Throw it on like a Kayak trailer, Exo Swim, something like that. If you find remaining grass, stuff that's still alive, throw the swim jig through it. Just reel it slow, bounce it off the bottom, rip it through the stuff. You can fish a swim jig in a million different ways. I like to throw real slow. This is the WolfeBite one. It's your bonus bait here. So yeah, that's 5 + 1 baits that I like to use for November. And thanks for watching.